Ukrainian military destroyed a Russian Su-34 fighter bomber in the south direction. Oh wait, two fighter bombers. No, that's not right. Ukrainian military destroyed 3 Russian Su-34 fighter bombers. I'm Maria Drutska, and today I will tell you about the new achievements of the invincible army of this world. On the night of December 22, a message from the occupiers was found on a piece of a Russian drone shot down by Ukrainian military. It was said, "Die, you bastards." And precisely at noon on December 22, the occupiers received a response to their message. These aircrafts are among the newest in Russia's arsenal. From such aircraft, the occupiers strike with guided aviation bombs on Ukraine. The Speaker of the Air Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Ignat, noted that this is a rather expensive modern aircraft. He said, "I think a machine like that can cost at least $50 million. That's the lowest price." Moreover, air forces hinted that Russian planes were shot down by the American Patriot system. You know, those Patriots that Putin claimed a year ago that Russia can easily crack. Those Patriots that Russian Defense Minister Shoigu consistently destroys every few months. Those Patriots that did not shoot down those missiles, as Shoigu once said that nobody else has yet, both hypersonic and at such a speed and with such penetrating capabilities, it's practically impossible to take it down. Well, in short, you got it. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov during a UNESCO Commission meeting stated that there is no evidence that Russia allegedly destroys Ukraine's cultural heritage. Well, we can remember what they have been saying since 2014. There is no evidence that the green men in Crimea in 2014 are the Russian army that came to annex Ukrainian Crimea. No evidence that those were Russian military in Donbass at that time. No evidence that Russian military shot down Malaysian flight MH17. No evidence that Russia killed Ukrainian prisoners of war in Olenivka. No evidence that all those corpses in Bucha were tortured and slaughtered by Russian troops. No evidence that Iran and North Korea supply Russia with weapons. No evidence that Russia uses banned chemical weapons. Well, in general, this can be listed for a long time, but there is no evidence at all. Not a single one, and we all made it up. Meanwhile, according to UNN media source, as of December 2023, UNESCO confirmed the damage to 333 cultural objects, including 146 buildings of historical significance, 29 museums, 13 libraries, 125 religious objects, churches, mosques, and synagogues. Well, you got it. Nearly 5 million Russian citizens will face restrictions on their ability to travel abroad on the eve of New Year holidays due to existing deaths. This was reported by the press service of the Federal Bailiff Service of Russia. To be honest, I don't really understand why these slaves, Russians, want to flee, that is to leave for holidays. It is the best, the richest country, everything is fine with you there. The best president, whom you will elect again next year. Of course, the same one. You didn't accidentally think of someone else, did you? Speaking of elections, the chairman of the Federal Council of Russia, Valentina Matviyenko, recently stated that the Russian electoral system is based on the direct expression of the will of millions of Russian voters. It is perfect, transparent, and honest. And they are interested in having foreign observers at the presidential elections. I wonder who? Iran? North Korea and Belarusians? The New York Times reported, citing its own sources, that Russian President Vladimir Putin has been sending signals through intermediaries since at least September about his readiness to cease fire in Ukraine, which would freeze combat actions at the current line of contact. According to American officials, Putin had already attempted to negotiate a ceasefire in the fall of 2022. His intentions, which were previously unknown, emerged after Ukraine routed the Russian army in the northeast. Then Putin indicated that he was satisfied with the territories captured by Russia and was ready for a truce, the publication sources said. Let me remind you that at press conference on December 14, Vladimir Putin stated that the war against Ukraine will end when he achieved all his goals: the denazification, demilitarization, and neutral status of Ukraine. The question then is, why does the most powerful Putin need a ceasefire if he is winning everywhere? Probably one does not need to be a military analyst to understand that it is only needed to accumulate resources to continue fighting against Ukraine and take more territories, or perhaps even to gather enough resources to go to other countries, for example, Baltics or somewhere else. Honestly, sometimes I tell you this news and it seems to me that I have some kind of parody release. But this is all reality. And as we see, Russia is a parody country with a circus and clowns in the Kremlin. But the Russians continue to shell Ukraine. On the night of December 24, the armed forces of the Russian Federation heavily shelled the city of Kherson. Due to a shell hitting a residential building, an elderly couple died under the rubble of their own apartment. Also, in another building, rescuers unblocked the body of another man. Currently, it is known that 9 citizens also were injured, among them a child. Private and multi-story buildings, educational and medical institutions, critical infrastructure, objects and vehicles were damaged. The situation in Avdiivka is changing not by the day but by the hour. And the overall situation in this direction is very complicated. This was reported today by the head of the Avdiivka City Military Administration. The enemy is pressing. Assault actions continue day and night. The Russians are trying to fulfill their tasks and take the city. Recently, they have been throwing a lot of equipment and personnel into the battle. We are recording thousands of dead occupiers around Avdiivka, the representative said. Avdiivka is the only Ukrainian city that Russia is currently directly attacking. And this is very important node of the Donetsk agglomeration. Holding it allows us to control an entire front line stretching tens of kilometers, and losing Avdiivka will force our troops to retreat a significant distance, significantly improving the operational position of the occupiers in the Donbas at turning Pokrovsk, Kurakhove, and Mirnograd into frontline cities. As journalist Yuri Butusov writes, that is why the Russians are throwing all reserves into the capture of Avdiivka. The defense of Avdiivka is a strategic success for the defense forces of Ukraine, and we must win this battle. That's it for today, and I want to thank all of you for supporting Ukraine, for watching Ukrainian content, for liking my videos, and also please subscribe to my Twitter, X, where I regularly post news. And if you like the video, you can support the channel's development on Patreon or buy me a coffee. See you soon and Slava Ukraini!